You asked for it. Here it is. It's a podcast from Apathetic Enthusiasm.
Coming to you live from LV-26, where there's a giant alien ship full of strange eggs and some kind of strange dead engineer in a spacesuit. Personally, I'd love to know more of the backstory of this space jockey, and hopefully we'll know on Interdimensional IRSS, the unofficial Rick and Morty podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. My name is Travis.
Hey everybody, I'm Brandon, and welcome to the show. We love that you're here with us today, celebrating what is
Flag Day.
now
Flag Day.
Is it Flag Day on Monday?
I think it's Flag Day today, as of this recording.
Oh,
But-
because it's Saturday. I didn't know. Why would you have Flag Day on Saturday? The Sabbath.
I don't know. At some point, we should just abolish all these holidays. But we'll
That's
get
right.
into that a little bit later. Welcome to the show, everybody. So glad that you're here on
Yeah.
Flag Day or whatever
That's-
holiday you choose.
If you're interested in how to get a hold of us to talk more about your love of flags, no flag
Here's
in
my
specific.
personal cell phone number.
Yeah, reach out to flagbrandon at gmail.com. Over on Facebook, facebook.com/Rick and Morty Podcast, Instagram, Rick and Morty Podcast, email rickandmortypodcast at gmail.com, and Blue Sky, rickandmorty.beast or rickandmortypod.bsky.social. Of course, go check out the Rick and Morty subreddit, rickandmorty.reddit.com. Our website, which I never update, but hey, it's there, and we just got it renewed for $42 for another 2 years, rickandmortypod.com. We are recording this and releasing it over on youtube.com/apathetic enthusiasm, where you can find this show. You can find our titular show, Apathetic Enthusiasm, and our real relationships. And yeah, and then a Patreon. Yeah, if you want to support the show, yeah, go to patreon.com/apathetic.
Make sure your voice is as high as possible.
Chelsea and I, we did a podcast on Obsessive Viewer talking about Mission Impossible, and when he started talking, Matt Hurt, he was like mentioned like go coffee me or something like that, like a way to like tip people to get coffee.
Yeah.
So maybe that's something easier to do if you're like, I don't want to support a Patreon. I don't want to give you money directly, but I'll buy you a coffee. I'm good with that.
Yeah, no, I love coffee and other beverages as well. So you can do any of those things. Yeah, big thanks to all of our patrons over at patreon.com, of course, and thanks to everybody that reaches out between episodes and talks about the show with us. We're glad you're here. Yeah, it's another coffee pod. Hashtag coffee pod. Recording Saturday morning. Ahead of the actual release of the episode. At some point, we're going to run out of screeners, and we're going to be forced to watch the episodes with you guys. But we'll be talking all about the last temptation of Jerry here in a little bit. But before we do, let's get into some semi-pertinent news. I think if you play that backwards, it's a special track.
Yeah,
so.
or it says "Open the gates of hell." Yeah, semi-pertinent news. Yeah, we don't have a lot of semi-pertinent news this week. Instead, what we're going to do is, I mean, there is news, and we'll get into it, but
Sure.
one of the things for huge news for us is we had the opportunity. Nay, the honor, nay. Yeah, honor is good.
We're running out of nays here.
the horse, of talking to Harry Belden and Ian Cardone, the voices of Rick and Morty, on this last Thursday, and it's so cool. We got to talk to them last 2 years ago or whatever it was. And separately, they with different different cast and crew. Harry and Ian were separated, and this time they're together. It was just them and us. And what I recognize first of all is that we basically have doppelgangers in the voice actors of Rick and Morty. yeah, no, Ian's not bald, thankfully.
Yeah, yeah. Give it time, Ian. You know, it could happen for you too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what we wanted to do is play a sneak peek of that interview. And it's a pretty quick interview, but it's just a sneak peek of it, just to show you how fun and wonderful they are, and how awkward we always are. And then we're gonna release that as a bonus episode after. So
Yeah. So stick around. Here's a little taste, a little sneak peek of our interview with Harry and Ian.
hey, there's Travis.
There he is.
Or either Brandon or Travis. That's funny.
It's a shared account, all right. So here I'll help you out.
Oh,
There we go.
Amazing. The real time. Nice.
That's good. That's good. Now Travis doesn't have his name. You don't have his last name, but we have each other. So
Yeah,
that's good.
we're gonna spend the entire time having you guess my last name. That's how are you guys doing?
Really great. Really
Good.
great.
Yeah. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, good to see you guys.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, it's so good. We saw you last time, and I mixed up your name, so apologies.
I was about to
We thought
say-
about getting name cards this time.
Are you?
About holding them up. We didn't want to make
heard-
it again.
I listened to a little bit of episode 3 and heard that you mixed this up. I didn't even realize that.
Had to bring that up again, did you?
Yeah.
He carries that with him every day. We're like developing mnemonics to try and keep you guys figured out. No, yeah.
I don't
Well, I mean,
Listen, of the
That's why
thing.
I wear glasses. So.
Yeah, he's the glasses one. I can't see anything, and also I can't feel anything. I can't can't wear my glasses because otherwise we'd really get confused.
And I don't even need them. I'm hitting stuff all the time, but it's
They're lensless glasses.
they're not even actually. They're still prescription. They're not my prescription. I'm just I can't see a thing. Also, people can tell us apart, but I guess it doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? It's of the things that people can say about us mixing our names up is fine.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Ah.
And there we go. That's that's it. Seamless.
yeah,
You don't.
that's
you-
not
you
all
didn't-
of it. Definitely download the bonus pod or watch the interview. We'll link it somewhere when it's posted. But
That's right.
just a huge thank you to those guys for taking some time to sit down with us. I mean, it was like a press junket thing, so it's not like they carved time out of their schedule just to talk to us. Like they were working. But like they're awesome. They're super fun to talk to, and just really grateful that we got a chance to chat with them a little bit about the show and what's been like to just be part of this huge show and the voices of the two main characters.
And one last thing I want to mention is before the junket, I reached out to Ian and Harry, and I asked, hey, is there anything you want us to ask or avoid asking? And then Ian mentioned that it was his birthday during our interview day, and guess who fucking forgot? Who forgot to say happy birthday? Brandon did. So happy belated.
Happy
Ian.
birthday. Yeah, sorry we missed it.
Yeah,
Hope you had a
asshole,
great day.
Brandon.
All right, moving on. Let's take a look at this week's Reddit post of the week.
Oh yeah, Reddit post of the week. So this is from Leather Werewolf 5050. I'm assuming that's that's a chance of them becoming a leather werewolf.
Yeah, it's like half and half.
Is a leather werewolf when you become? It's like, oh, it's a full moon. Now I'm a shoe. Is that
I
what
don't know.
happens?
There's probably something to it that I don't want to Google
Okay.
without safe search turned on.
Especially not at work.
Yes.
But they post a screenshot of announcement from the Annecy Film Festival about Rick and Morty being renewed through season 12, so through 2029, and it's weird. We didn't look this up because I felt like that was already kind of known, but I know we didn't talk about it on the show in any of the semi-perts, but I kept seeing season 11, season 12. But regardless, hey, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Just another small step towards 100 years of Rick and Morty. We will be very old when this podcast concludes, because that's a lot of episodes. But no, that's awesome. Super excited that it's continued to be renewed, and even through the ups and downs that that this show has experienced, the fact that they're keeping a core group together to keep producing these episodes, it's incredible. Yeah. And I think in that post it says like that season 10's already been written, or so like like they're well ahead on the production schedule for getting these shows made, and I think that's great.
Yeah, it continues to be a turn of how the first couple seasons worked, where we're like, they're drawing it, but now it's like, no, it's been done drawn. We're just recording voices now. So now it's like this episode, right? We're recording this before the episode so that we can release it later. Just imagine in the future when we have just like 2 years worth of content for new episodes.
We're just gonna start making up episodes that we can record podcasts about, so that we can be 2 years ahead.
Yeah,
and just hope that we get it right on. It's worked so far. So
yeah.
All right. Yeah. Awesome Reddit post of the week. Nothing really in the Dan Harmon social media space this week. It's been kind of a quiet week for him. He posted a California state flag.
Flag Day
with no explanation needed. So
Flag Day.
Flag Day. Oh, obviously. That's exactly what that means. Anyway, all right. That's it for semi-pertinent news. If you have a semi-pertinent news story that you think we should cover, definitely hit us up at any of our social media links or send us an email. Don't forget to check out the entire interview with Ian and Harry very soon. And when we come back, we will be diving right into the main thing, where we cover The Last Temptation of Jerry, Season 8, Episode 4. So stick around, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everybody. It is now time for the moment you've been waiting for, the reason they put a timestamp down in the comments. It is. It's time for the main thing.
It's the reason for the season. It's the main thing. Holiday episode. Anti-holiday episode. It's the main thing today. Let's celebrate this. Travis, I know this is probably one of your favorite episodes of all time, because it talks about your favorite holiday. That's right. Easter. Yes, we're talking about Season 8, Episode 4, The Last Temptation of Jerry. It aired 6/15, June 15th of 2025. Written by Heather Ann Campbell. Directed by Douglas Einar Olson. Guest stars Heather Ann Campbell, Eben Moss Backrack. He is the Thing in the new Fantastic Four movie. Eric Bauza, Katomi, Echo Kellum, Albro Lundy, and Ryan Ridley. Ryan Ridley, who's good. It's so good to hear your voice.
Coming
Ryan.
back. Yeah.
The Brunopsis, as is written, bruh is risen. The Smiths learned the true meaning of Easter. Kind of. Period. Bruh. I think it's like a question.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. We're placing the inflection, but it's
yeah.
Yeah.
What's our synopsis? I mean, I wrote this, but what?
Yes. The true meaning of Easter. the Easter clause, as it were.
Yes. As far as the title reference for the episode, it's the Martin Scorsese Last Temptation of Christ. It's the movie that was criticized way back in the day for making Jesus seem like a flawed figure versus him being just this purely infallible type of prophet, right?
Yeah,
so there you go. Let's what kind of themes we got here? Obviously it's a holiday episode.
It is a holiday episode, joining a long list of treasured classics, of fan favorite episodes. I don't know what it is about holiday episodes in Rick and Morty, but I think some of the best and most memorable episodes, they revolve around holidays for one, and they also never get released anywhere near the time of the actual holiday that is being depicted. So this episode joins classics like Anatomy Park, Rictional Mortpoon's Rickmas Mortication, Rattlestar Rick Lactica, the Thanksploitation Spectacular, and several more. So yeah, I think it's hilarious that we got another holiday episode, and a really good one in my opinion. I think upon repeat viewings of this episode, especially, like, I just catch more things, and it's hilarious. Like, add to that it's kind of a Jerry centric episode. I feel like there's been a little bit of a lack of Jerry so far in the season. Like, so I think like those two things combined, off the charts for me with this episode.
Agreed with that. I love there are so many things going on in this. I think the fact that we hadn't really seen Jerry for three episodes, but other than like basically the intro and barely that even, right? Jerry, as we pointed out, like during the intro with like the goats eating the can, like there's Jerry in the mouse holes in the background. But I think that's a good way of being like, we want to see Jerry. We're excited for a Jerry episode to get like putting the order of the episodes together, right? There's an art to that. And I think there's also something about, all the promotional art for this season, all is about season 8 and the Easter egg, and then the Easter Island heads in the background. So there was a reason that they wanted to make this kind of a focal point, right? They probably wouldn't have put their worst episode in the be like, let's promote this one. This is what we're promote.
This is the one that we're trying to hide at like the 2/3 point of the season. Let's do all the promotional material about that one.
Yeah. That was the worst one ever. Slut Dragon.
We should that should be an off-season conversation at some point where we just kind of look at maybe the 3 lowest rated Rick and Morty episodes and just, I don't know, kind of retrospect, look back at them and what fans really dislike or something like that. Anyway, that's a tangent that we'll probably never explore.
But just to point out, the Americans is not the worst episode.
Oh,
that's a pretty damn good episode. Yeah. But we're in the minority, I think.
That's true. It's true. Other kind of themes like with this episode is, to me, I felt like this really got back to that idea of a classic Rick and Morty adventure, the vibes of them having some sort of crazy thing happen and then Rick and Morty taking off to kind of try and figure out what's going on while the rest of the Smith family is dealing with their own terrestrial problems back on Earth. Like that A-B plot, even though it's all interconnected for the most part, like that, just the structure of this episode to me felt like a classic season 1, season 2 type Rick and Morty adventure. And I think they leaned into that a little bit as well, talking about Indiana Jones stuff and things like that, which cracked me up. I loved it.
Yeah, that little map, the Indiana Jones thing through the portal, and then when they got to the other side and it cut the music right away.
yeah. That's very well done. As a huge fan of Indiana Jones films as well, like just the tying of that together was super fun. So
the other thing, the classic Rick and Morty adventure vibes, but also classic Rick and Morty, along with the holiday episode type of thing, is how it is tying together a horror movie or a pop culture thing, right?
Yeah.
So Anatomy Park, Jurassic Park, Rattlestar, Rick Galactica, you got Back to the Future, right? That stuff is going on. Terminator. Like I love that they reference Prometheus so much in the episode. Because it's like it took the premise of Alien Prometheus, Alien Covenant, and it was like, let's let aliens are eggs, Easter eggs are a thing. Let's tie those. How? I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
In like the UCB, the improv aspect of like getting to that way. I'm like, that's. I don't. Maybe I don't want to say genius, but I do want to say. I want to say genius. But
is that going too far? I don't know that it is.
It's just really good. Good job, Heather.
I would have loved to have seen the whiteboard in the writer's room pitching this episode and just connecting some of the dots, like some of the ideas that were probably thrown up there, the ones that made it in the episode and also the ones that didn't. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of things that they didn't have time for, or they couldn't, include in the episode. But yeah, it's just it's crazy to me. Like, I did have a question for you, because you are our resident horror expert on the show, but like
the Resident Evil.
But I did kind of pick up, there were certain moments in this episode that felt kind of like they were giving off those horror movie vibes. The first was that transformation, like the grotesque transformation of Jerry, where first it's the hairy boil on the back of his lower back, and then his teeth that just start falling out, and the way he responds to that, and then his like bones are cracking and being like disfigured. That, as well as once he's like fully transformed into the Easter Bunny and he's coming back to the house to try and like get to Beth again, and she's like scared, she's running up the stairs, he's like coming in through the window and all these things. Like, I would not say this episode was themed like a horror movie, but there were definite snippets throughout where I was like, this, if they wanted to lean into this, I feel like they could have definitely done like a horror version of this episode.
Yeah, it had counting the different types of horror aspects or references in the episode, right? Yeah, you have your werewolf, like we kind of talked about werewolf already, right? So you have your Easter claws, killing it and then becoming the Easter Bunny. So there's that aspect. Then there's his teeth, like all the teeth falling out, like the body horror aspect of it. It's very The Fly, the David Cronenberg version. With where Brundlefly is like, Gina Davis's character is like, you're sick, and so Brundle's like, okay, I'm out of here, and he goes just and tries to have sex with a bunch of things, right? So like there's that aspect of it. Obviously the Prometheus, the alien bit. There's a couple more that like I'm mad that I had them all like listed out on my finger. And like, but like I love that I love the fly aspect, but they didn't like call it out explicitly. The whole the way the Jerry coming up like the steps and like murdering a bunch of stuff, that was that was a good scene. Just the way that it was shot. And
except he's not murdering things, he's just making everything want to have sex with each other.
Well, but he was murdering the space Christians.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. You're right. Yeah.
But it so on the space Christian side, they, I don't know if this was the intent, but they felt very kind of like Diablo, like the angels in Diablo 3.
Yeah, I think from like a design, like a visual design standpoint, I could totally see that.
Yeah. So I love that aspect of it too. But yeah, it mirrored the. Finally, I love that they just mirrored the plot of Prometheus so much that they made the joke about when they cut back to Rick and Morty, like, oh, so that's what Prometheus is about.
Yeah. It's I mean, this is such a solid episode. I there are so many bits that stood out to me, to you as well. A little behind the scenes, like when we produce this podcast, we watch the episode, we write down our favorite bits, and then we use a shared like Google Doc that we keep for notes, right? And I was taking notes on my phone outside of the Google Doc of some of my favorite bits, and then I jumped into it, and you were actively writing in there like some of the bits that you, and like almost beat for beat, it was all the same things that I had in my phone. So yeah, I think I don't know if we just have gotten to the point where we've like mind melded on a lot of the stuff we like about this show, but yeah, a lot of things stood out that just were really funny. Starting with like in the cold open with the Jerry getting ready for Easter and going around the house and just getting rejected by his entire family, like the Easter version of a Christmas song, I thought it just felt very Jerry in just how he was trying to push familial traditions on his family. And then the abrupt turn when he hits the Easter bunny with his car and then just starts like vomiting into the Easter bunny. And it just, that close-up shot is almost Ren and Stimpy-esque of like, let's get detailed into the disgusting vomit pouring through the hole in the Easter bunny's head and stuff like that. Like, just, I don't know, it was cracking me up.
Yeah, like I don't have a specific horror movie for like him driving and then him hitting something, but you know, there's a bunch of films like that. The first one that popped up in my mind was what you did last summer. I know what you did last summer,
Yeah.
even though it's not like, that's not a monster movie, but still is like, that's what the first thing that jumped out to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that vomit, like, oh, this is a bad day to eat a bunch of candy. Ugh, I'm not trying to kill you with vomit. Ugh.
And then Rick's first question, I just have to ask.
I have questions.
Did you
questions.
vomit on it to try to kill it?
No. Okay, no more questions.
All right, that's it. That's it. This entire premise of Jerry being Easter Claused, taking that concept from the Santa Claus and kind of ham-fisting it into how the Easter Bunny works, was hilarious, and I think it worked perfectly. Like the fact that they speak to it in the episode and they're like, that's not how the movie worked, and they're like, but you get the premise, right? So we're gonna move on. Like I thought that was really good.
Yeah. When Jerry first starts showing signs of being Easter claused, like he goes into the fridge and he just starts eating the lettuce, like that, like, and then the cup. This fucking glass doesn't work. And then he creates himself a water bottle, like a hamster thing. I love that. Like, hey, he finally did something on his own. We should remember.
Jerry actually accomplished something. We should celebrate that.
We talked about the Indiana Jones moment. It happens twice. One on Earth to the Alps. We talked about like the music cutting short because it's such a short trip. And then in space when they go to Andromeda. I love that little bit. When they first get to the Alps and it's like, oh, the permafrost is melting. It's like, oh, we don't want to make this about global warming or climate change. And then Morty says, I don't know which way Zaslav voted. The head of Warner Brothers.
Yeah, something about cigarettes causing global warming or something.
Yeah, SUVs. Yeah, Morty. Cigarettes cause global warming.
The Encino Man and Iceman references. I don't think I've ever felt as old watching a Rick and Morty episode as Morty literally calling us old for getting those references.
I've never seen Iceman. Have you seen Iceman?
Probably not. But Encino Man, I definitely get that reference.
For sure.
I definitely get that reference.
Iceman came out in '84. I think Encino Man came out in like '93 or something like that. But yeah. We talk about some space Christians. I love that. I love that. I love that. So in Prometheus, okay, Travis, I'm a fan of Alien,
I do know
the
this.
Alien
I do know this
franchise.
about you.
The thing about Prometheus is, I think it's the non-director's cut version of the movie. It starts with the engineers coming down from space, releasing something, and then that it shows. Then it's like, oh, now this is evolution. It's created evolution. What is not really said explicitly in that movie is that the engineers from Alien are the ones who, like, they came down and they tried to, like, do stuff, and then we killed them. So, like, the engineers were Jesus Christ is kind of what Ridley Scott was intending, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And so
All
then
right.
we see that in this episode, but more explicit of, like, this is what they were intended. Now let's actually talk about it in Rick and Morty.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. As the loser of the two of us that hasn't seen all of the Alien movies, including Prometheus, I didn't pick up on some of those references.
Okay. Yeah,
but,
the Easter Island aliens with the butts on the front. The engineers, as they call them in Prometheus, they just do gigantic white albino looking aliens, and they walk around with their dongs out. So in order to mimic that, they had to put the butts on the front.
I loved Rick's, like, fascination with, like, are the butts on the front? Is it the other thing on the back? And then, like, he's like like Morty's freaking out about all this stuff that's happening, and Rick is just hyper fixated on the anatomy of these giant aliens. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Speaking of the space Christians, their little cherub head spaceships, the one that drops out of, like, the mothership and, like, waddles through space like away, like, cracked me up. Just, like, those little visual gags that if you blink you'll miss it, but really had me cracking up. I didn't catch this. Their guns having a little holy sound.
Yeah. Every time the space Christians, they shoot their guns, it goes
All right.
And I'm like, oh, that's a cool little addition. Speaking of Andromeda, so they go to Andromeda. That's where they need to go, and Morty's, it's like, where are we supposed to go? And, like, they already said the word Andromeda. He's like, Amadabra. Are you messing with me?
Possibly one of my favorite moments of, like, I don't know, all time in Rick and Morty, like, just and then the reinforcement of it later in the episode. Just, I don't know if it's the delivery, I don't know if it's the timing, and just the incompetence of Morty, but rolling. I was dying. Like, yeah, this was Amada Bra. Do something with that. Make some merch or something, because it cracked me up. That was so good.
Yeah, we have notes in here for more talking about Prometheus, basically. So we don't need to do it anymore, other than their jokes about what is the lore, who do we hate. Very much on the nose for I think Damon Lindelof wrote Prometheus, so he's got that very mystery box aspect, and so that is strewn throughout Prometheus of, like, what is the lore, what is going on here. We don't know, but terraforming, that is their big thing, is the engineers in Prometheus. So the fuck-based terraforming was so cool, because aliens, it's like that's what the metaphor is the alien is fucking your face and it's impregnating your chest, and that's what it is. Now the Easter Bunny makes people F.
Yeah. You guys should kiss. I did like when the space Christians on Easter Island were like, like, we sent down, like, an Easter Bunny or whatever, and then you guys crucified him. and when Morty's like, that is not how we tell that story. I got a kick out of that. That was
Yeah.
pretty hilarious.
But I want to but going back to the last time I'm going to talk about Prometheus. I won't say it anymore. But it's not that
I
they
doubt
sent
it.
it's not that they sent the Easter Bunny down. They sent Jesus down to kill the Easter Bunny, and we crucified space Jesus.
Classic mistake.
Yeah.
Classic.
No more Prometheus.
No more. No more.
Speaking of Easter Island, the spaceships that they use to escape, the Easter Island heads, but then you have the butts on the front, very dick looking.
Very phallic for sure. Yeah.
Like you guys got away with. You guys got away with. I don't know how they did.
To that note, when they escaped their like fortress or whatever, the garbage chute or whatever that they escape out of, that very much just looks like a butt with like the poop chute coming out the back. Very reminiscent of classic Rick and Morty background art where they just sneak as much like, phallic or, I don't know, body humor type things into the terraforming of the different planets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Jerry goes to he's doing his line dancing in the bar, and they're like, "Oh, you do pretty good for getting into a motorcycle accident right before you come in." He's just like all bloody and just his tidy whities. But I paused it a couple times just to see what kind of art was in the background. And so there's in the background there is a chalkboard, and it says pinball scores, and it has a bunch of names and like all these different tally marks. And then it goes at the very, very bottom, Tommy, the pinball wizard. He's only got 3 tally marks. He's not doing too good.
It's not his best performance. So
When he was a young boy, he played the silver ball, but can't win them all.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. So this is just time to make F. Well, is this all of the things that Jerry was saying as he was trying to inspire folks to procreate
as he's jumping past the moon. Time to make fun.
It is funny because like we did watch this on a screener. Most of the time, like I purchased the season in a season pass, so we get uncensored versions of the show. I'm very curious to see how this episode plays on Adult Swim, because like there's a lot of lines that are gonna get censored or bleeped. To that extent, there's a lot of visual gags that are censored in the original cut. Like the guy that's like unzipping his pants and having sex with the motorcycle, that's censored. The giant sex pile out in front of the Smith family, like it's mostly all censored with just like faces and things like unblurred. So yeah, I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see how some of this is played, on cable.
Agreed. Yeah, and like I'm interested to know, like to hear them how they are going to bleep some lines, because some lines are like they're given in a like kind of visual gag aspect.
Yeah.
So when Jerry's teeth start falling out, and Beth is like, ew, oh. He's like, what? I just want, and it's like the blood is dripping down. He's like, I just want to fuck, right? But it's like it is an obfuscated kind of delivery.
Yeah,
it's like it takes, if you bleep it, which I'm sure they will, it like kind of takes away from that gag.
It does, yeah. So I am curious to see how that'll play, and that this may end up being an episode that plays better on Max in the future, or in the unedited, just for some of those other jokes to land as intended. But we talked about Amada Bra when they're back on Earth, and Morty referencing something about like Rat Utopia, and Rick's like, you did science, nice mini arc. and then he says, "All it took was a trip to a Matabra." Like immediately takes that high and just drops it into the gutter. Like it's a favorite moment. That was so good. Yeah.
The return of the mailman. It's good to my man.
Immediately throws his clothes off and gets in on the party. Yeah.
And then the animation of the transformation with everybody turning into the bunny as they keep Easter clausing each other.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that. By the way, in Prometheus, one of the engineers does get infected by the alien.
I knew we'd get another reference. I knew it would happen.
Yeah, no, I dug that.
Yeah, just the way that it was bouncing like back and forth. Also, I think the little laser gun thing that had the egg on it that was supposed to suck the like Easter bunny like into the egg or whatever. It looked a little bit like the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids like gun. I don't know if that, like, somebody from the show hit us up on social, let us know if that was intentional or not. But that's where my brain went when I saw it. So I don't know. It may have just been a close thing. But yeah, no, I thought that animation sequence was fantastic.
You wrote the giant censored sex pile. You know, I'm not sure I saw that.
It was pretty censored, and it's only it's a clip just for a second, but it's going on in the chaos of all of them turning into Easter bunnies and all this stuff. But then it just, like, basically all the people in town are just in this giant orgy pile, and it's like almost all of it is blurred out. So it's just, to me, it's hilarious that they went to the trouble of, like, animating that, but then also, like, just basically animating a giant censored like depiction of what would happen if left unchecked with this Easter bunny. So
yeah, I love the absurdity of we know that basically the entire frame is going to be censored, but this is fun for us, right, guys?
Yeah, some animator spent a whole day or week working on that, and yeah, they're like, that's my scene. That's what I did right there. They probably did other things too.
Yeah, I'm sure. The anti-holiday montage with the song in the background, love that. I mean, you shouldn't have gotten. I guess they could have gotten rid of Cinco de Mayo. You know, I'll drink margaritas. It doesn't matter.
The way they're doing work on Labor Day, the way they're like they're just bucking the system, and the mention by Morty. I'm glad we did all the other religious holidays off screen. Like that meta note is pretty good. But yeah, the way the song over that montage is the more highly produced version of the song that Jerry's singing at the beginning of the episode. But then how by the end of it just kind of devolves into them saying like random words and things like that. I think the song is fantastic. I hope we get it as a track
Big
on
Mac,
Spotify.
Whopper, have it your way.
Yeah, I hope we can listen to that and put it in our Spotify Wrapped if that's possible. So great stuff there. Yeah.
And then the last thing we have is Summer at the endless spring break because she didn't get picked up. So it's like the island of lost toys, or in Pinocchio, like the kids all on their own turning into donkeys and stuff.
Yeah, the fact that they've formed a small society with like a hierarchy and leader system and stuff like that. Yeah,
like a Lord of the Flies type of thing going on.
we have to bring our tributes to
Madison.
Yeah. That's good stuff. Good stuff. And like the emotion when Summer's talking about her teeth bracelet and her friend that didn't have a second stomach just for alcohol, and so she couldn't handle it.
Lost her teeth eating Jello shots.
Yeah. Good stuff. Any like best worst parts for you that, or any of those moments kind of stand out for you as the best moment?
Yeah, I don't really have any worst parts. I think the episode was just all in all a really good episode.
Yeah.
You talk about like your favorite Rick, at least in the the Amada Bra. The thing that wrecked me with laughter was when main Christ General
Something Reinhard, something or
yeah.
other. Yeah.
After Jerry attacks him, like cuts him in half, he's on the ground, and then he's like interrupts Rick and Morty, and then he's like, oh, and then he closes his eyes and like, oh, now he's dead, and then he starts snoring.
Snoring.
That's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
And it's such a, and their reaction to like, oh, he's sleeping. I can't even.
And the decision to just leave him there because he has no legs and he's on an island.
Yeah, you can't go anywhere.
Yeah. And then he's the one that ends up saving the day at the end. Just
And then
it's all great. It's all
then
great.
his whole explanation of how'd you get here? Oh, I got here by a spaceship, but I landed downtown, so I had to take a bus. And then his explanation of how he did all these things, but then when they're like, get out of here, get off our lawn, he's still just like so slow crawling. So it's like all of that stuff happened, and he he said he did this like the incredible journey, but how fast could he have gone to do any of that? It's just anachronistic. But I really dug that. And then he is in the after credits because he's like, maybe I do want to have sex.
Yeah. His wife is not going for it. It's not going for it.
Nope.
Yeah. Well, I think that will pretty much sum up our recap on The Last Temptation of Jerry. Overall, is this my favorite episode of the season so far? I don't know. It might. I'm curious. Very high praise we got, or that we saw last week for episode 3. Curious what the fans think of this one. Do they like it more? Especially coming off of a very Citadel type episode last week. But yeah, let us know your thoughts. Give us a shout if there's anything we missed or things that we didn't cover. What were your favorite bits? Let us know in the comments or hit us up on social media. And when you do, you may be mentioned in listener suggestions and short outs.
Woo!
I hinted at this earlier. We do have a user over on YouTube, Gray Knight 3478. Who does a service of going into our podcast episodes and then creating a hyperlink timestamp of when the main thing starts. So if you want interdimensional RSS without all of the semi-perts, social media links, and Brandon singing, I guess, check out the hyperlinks. Thanks to Gray Knight 3478 for doing that on most of the YouTube episodes.
That's right. A couple other YouTube comments there as well. Betlathane, a couple comments here in response to, because we're talking about like the clone stuff, is like, when did the clone stuff happen in season 3, or not season 3, but episode 3. And they're right that was done before the universe mapping segment. I'm reminded of the rant from the Vat of Acid episode, but chose not to respond or choose not to repeat for good taste. But yeah, it was in. They also say the clone stuff was in the season 5 finale, vis-a-vis the mass market Morty montage. And then let's maybe not throw around the R word so easily. Somehow even I managed that. Which is a reference.
Oh, okay.
So shout out to you. And then Carrie W 7626. I was wondering why the Ricks were rationing portal fluid. Why don't all the Ricks know how to make it? I think we talked about this a little bit.
We did. We kind of asked the same question in the episode. And at Nesm, saying that the main Rick is the only Rick that knows how to make it. That's why he's the main Rick. If all the Ricks knew how to make it, they wouldn't be working regular jobs at the Citadel. I think that's fair. I think that idea that, our Rick C-137, or as we have referred to him, is the Rickest Rick. He invented, interdimensional travel. It's gotten around, right? Obviously, the Citadel had access to portal travel in those first Citadel episodes when, the Council of Ricks was coming in and like they portal in to kidnap Rick and Morty and things like that. And so it exists, but I think it was especially the clones. The clones probably don't know how to do it. They're clones. They were not given those memories or something. So this idea of power leveling different echelons of Ricks, I think that helps kind of make sense of why a simple Rick, simple wafer cookie employee exists in the first place.
And there's a little bit to the episode. I forget the name of the episode, but it's the one with all the duplicates, right? Where the duplicates are making duplicates that are making duplicates, and it's like a Mortiplicity.
Yeah,
Where like they get dumber. They don't have the same level of intelligence or skill as the original. So, but yeah, hey, thank you all for commenting. We appreciate it. One more shout out over on Instagram, Scary Terry Folds,
longtime friend of the show.
Longtime friend of the show. Spencer's band, Bell and Chain. So Spencer has a band that she is doing a lot of shows and stuff on. He shot that over so we could take a look, and I think she performs in LA, so he's like, you should go check her out. So Bell and Chain, and they have the Instagram. So
yeah.
Thanks Mr. Scary Terry.
You gonna go to a show? You gonna go see Spencer Grammer and like wear a Rick and Morty shirt and be like,
yeah, I was like, we talked one time. We
did. I think we talked to her more than once. I don't know.
No, I don't think so. I think we only talked to her once. I was wearing the guy kicking some ass because of Earth Day shirt. She's like, oh, cool shirt. I'm like, hey, thanks.
Hey, thanks. All right, that's it for listener suggestions and short outs. If you hit all the links, hit the comments, let us know what you thought, and if you have a question, we'll answer it on an upcoming episode. And that's going to do it for this episode.
Right.
So thank you so much for listening. If you're new here, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things on YouTube, rate and review 5 stars over on your podcast app of choice. And sharing this episode with a friend or on your socials is the best way that you can support us. So thanks to everybody that does that. Thanks for listening. Until next time, I'm Travis.
And I am Brandon, and thank you all for listening. Thank you all for enjoying this fandom together. This is wonderful, and we'll make sure you go listen to that bonus episode, the interview with Harry and Ian.
That's
You'll die. You'll die with laughter.
So much fun.
Okay, bye everybody.
Bye.